Solway Sands and Blockyard revisited. It's a while since there's been any posting about these two layouts, and I'm going to explain to you why that is, and why, if things go to plan, there might be some little videos of some action on these layouts. Let's have a look. I'm not sure that any video has been done of these in the loft railway room. So where we are is in a loft that I've lined out and plastered quite a few years ago. There are two Velux windows in it, and it means that I've got room there to put Solway Sands and Blockyard. You have seen the room before, but what we had in here was Bradford City Road. So Bradford City Road was operated up here for a while, and now that has I believe it has now been scrapped by the people that took it over. But these two haven't run for a long time, and I've no intention of scrapping these. I got them to preserve them. And so we're going to have a look as time goes on at what needs to be done. So they haven't run for a long time. I've just taken the plastic covers off. There's one plastic cover here, one plastic cover there. Opened up the proscenium arch and can have a look at them. Just before I get going on that, just let's have a quick glance around the railway room. Lots of railway related books, some stock on there, things like that. Lots of modelling paraphernalia underneath the layouts, tools, bits and pieces, all the sorts of things that you accumulate over years of modelling. I mean, how much stuff do we accumulate? That's supposed to be a bit of a workbench over there. You can't see it. It's just covered in things, including, a bit of a live steam engine there, boxes with chain in it, which is actually for making three-link chain for the garden railway site scale wheels, screws, nuts, bolts, and things like that. DCC kit stuff, some old instruments which may or may not work. I've taken them out of the scrap bin. And then a shelf up there which used to be just full of model aeroplanes and gliders, and now has got more storage for a bit more stock up there. And I need to thin out the stock. And if I swing round, what you can see is there's a nice seating area here, a comfortable little sofa bed there, and under the eaves, as it were, partly into the eaves, are boxes that have been used to store things in, more boxes and camping gear in the darkness there. Right, so that is the operating space. It's quite a good space. It's a comfortable space. It's warm. It suffers a little, but because I've insulated it, it's possible to keep it warm in winter. What we have up here is insulation in between the rafters. I'm not sure if you can see it, Kingspan, and then polystyrene backed plasterboard on top of that, which provides a reasonable amount of insulation. And I punched a window through the end gable wall, which allows me to have a lovely view looking out over fields, over the rooftops of the houses. So that's the environment I've got. No excuse for not spending time up here doing things. And now, just to end the video, let's just have a quick pan across this from end to end. This will be the end of any running because nothing goes any further than this. This is Blockyard. This represents a place where concrete blocks were made. There's more explanation of this on some other videos. At the back there's a little narrow gauge line which has got a shuttle circuit on it, but that might need some looking at. So that is an Inglenook shunting layout, and so this is used for shunting engines, and I'll say more about that in other videos about how I couple and uncouple and run that hands-free, totally analog. The intermediate little fiddle yard and turntable, it's not possible to have stock run straight through. It all has to go through this intermediate yard, and then the turntable has to move so that it can enter and exit the yard. And so the yard could be used with either layout. So you operate one layout, and this one becomes the inglenook layout, shunting puzzle with stock on there, while you ignore this side. Or it can be used with this one, which is called Solway Sands. And Solway Sands here represents a little coastal town with a rail connection. You see a ramp down there to the sea, and a fish processing plant over there for any fish that's landed, and there's crates of fish there, so it gives you an opportunity to run a couple of fish vans in. There's a little place here for the local loco, shunting loco, to be operated on. You can see the magnets between the track on this one, and so stock enters from the end. There's a similar sort of turntable fiddle yard arrangement here, and then some of the locos could exit down that way as if they were going off to something else, and they would end up on that bit of fiddle yard at that end to be turned around and sent back again. So that there is Solway Sands. Two beautiful scenic layouts. Both operate as shunting layouts, and if I remember correctly, Blockyard is slightly easier to shunt on, just because the layout of this makes it a bit more of a struggle to put wagons or whatever you want into the right sort of place. However, that's a challenge, isn't it, if you're running a model layout? But there we are. That's a little 7-minute, maybe a touch more, under 10-minute video clip to show you what we're talking about and to start me off on the journey of bringing these back into operation again.